Next up at UFC Vegas 37, we have Joaquin Buckley versus Antônio Arroyo. Joaquin Buckley, 12-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. And you know him from the highlight of the century over Impa, who we broke down earlier. Antônio Arroyo, 9-4 overall, 2 losses in a row. Joaquin Buckley is short, thick, big power, and comes in hot. He will go down as having the coolest knockout in the history of the UFC. I mean, that jump, spin, back kick, I mean, that thing was incredible, and it will be on highlights forever. You heard me say that before for the person that he did it to. He has good movement in the sense that he does move forward. He doesn't really cut too many angles, but he does have good movement, and he comes forward. He'll move his head a little bit, not as much as he should, but he does come straight at you with speed and power. The height difference here may actually be helpful. So Joaquin Buckley, shorter, thicker. Antônio Arroyo is a little bit taller here. And honestly, usually I like the shorter guy if they're a grappler, but with Joaquin Buckley's like big, heavy power coming in against a taller guy, and he can just rip the body. I actually like that. So I like that size difference here. And he's always the shorter guy, but Antonio's a little taller. So I do like that size difference here. I think it helps Joaquin a little bit. Antônio Arroyo is massive for the weight class. He is massive for the weight class. And he's a good Taekwondo guy. He's got that Taekwondo background, which really helps with his movement. So where Joaquin moves forward, Antônio Arroyo sort of bounces in and out, moves like this, always bouncing around. He throws a ton of kicks because of that Taekwondo background. And what's interesting about the kicks is they're not leg kicks. So Muay Thai, for example, if that was his background, he'd be smashing the leg. But because it's Taekwondo, it's really a lot of body and some heads. He does a really good job with the body kicks. That Taekwondo style means he likes to fight at range. He bounces on his toes. He likes to be at range. He wants to enter, strike, leave. And that's sort of what that martial art is and what he likes to do. The problem is Buckley charging straight forward with his big looping shots. I don't know if Antonio's going to be able to enter, leave. I don't know, right? Well, you got this jacked up rock in front of you just coming straight at you. I don't know if you're going to be able to leave. If he had he's got good movement and he bounces in and out, but if he bounced left to right, he could literally matador Joaquin Buckley, but I just don't see that happening. Antônio Arroyo does have some grappling, but he doesn't necessarily use his wrestling. If you watch his breakdowns, you watch his fights, he's got some decent submission skills, but he doesn't really dictate how it gets there, right? He's not using offensive wrestling. This should be a really fun fight. I see Joaquin Buckley working his way in, staying busy, lighting up Antonio's body, coming to the head, and just beating Antônio Arroyo up. I think Antonio's sort of bouncy Taekwondo. I don't know if he's going to be able to do what he wants to do. I don't think he's going to be able to keep Joaquin at the end of everything, his whole fight. So I have Buckley winning this fight. I have a question mark next to inside the distance. So I may grab Joaquin Buckley by finish. He's definitely the pick. $9,300, probably not a bad price to pay, honestly, because I do think there could be a finish here. 200 favorite, solid. I like the more on the monkey knife fight line. Listen, 49 strikes is not that many. We're talking, 15 a round? What's that math? 15, 45? So we're talking 15 a round, a little more than 10 a round for Antonio. That's not a lot of strikes. So I know Antonio bounces around in and out, not the craziest volume, but Joaquin's going to come right at him. Joaquin's going to get in there, throw a bunch of stuff, and it's going to force Antonio to let his hands go. So I like more on Monkey Knife Fight. I like $9,300 on Joaquin Buckley. I have a question mark next to my bet, which is inside the distance, and the question mark on my spreadsheet means I didn't place it just yet. So that's one that I'm looking at. We'll see what happens there. Let me know your thoughts on the Monkey Knife Fight line. More I like, but if you guys think Joaquin Buckley's just going to knock this dude's head off quick and early, then less is definitely the play. wewantpicks.com/MKT.